I was very lucky to have been born in Varanasi in a family of all tabla maestros. In fact, there are 6 styles of tabla playing, known as 6 gharanas of tabla, and one of them was founded by my ancestors, namely Pandit Ram Sahai back in 1780, and tabla has been in our family for over 200 years, and I'm the direct descendant of Pandit Ram Sahai, 6th generation, although tabla has been played in my family for probably 10 generations. Back in early 80s, my father got an opportunity to be teaching at Dartington College of Arts, which is based in Devon in England, and that's what brought me over to UK. And since then I am spending more time in UK, but traveling to India regularly, but around the world, and keep connected to Varanasi and to India. And this lifetime is dedicated to tabla, also because in my veins it's all tabla. I think tabla, I breathe tabla, I sleep tabla, I eat tabla. Tabla is life for this life. So my experience of teaching in the West, in UK, compared to India. So I don't teach different content. The content is the same. The method is a little bit different. As you know, this art form can only be learned in guru-shishya parampara, which means a teacher-disciple situation. So when I'm teaching at the university, where I am now for about 26, 27 years at Sahai, the students are very young. They just left, their school, college, and they come there. And I'm more like their friends. Some of them are younger than the time I've been teaching at Sahai. And I don't have to be a big Guruji, I'm friends with them. And by 3rd week, 4th week, they're already doing the namaste. They take their shoes off in the corner and gradually begin to understand the seriousness and the depth of this art form. Because sometimes in the beginning, you have somebody who wants to just play with pop music, who thinks there are a set of drums and they tap like this and think this is how easy it is. But like most things in life, everything looks easy before you do it. Once you begin to learn, only then you realize the intricacies of the difficulties, the dedication needed, whether it's about cooking, whether it's about driving, whether it's about painting, whether it's about learning any art form. It looks very easy when somebody else is doing it. So we begin at that level. And then the serious students then continue. They come home, they learn in the traditional way. So I have students as young as 4-year-old, and my eldest student is 75-year-old. I teach everybody. One thing I am fussy about is when somebody comes to me, I need to know where they got my contact from. Because if they just got it from the internet, I know they're looking for a tabla player, not me directly. Because I want to dedicate my time to people who are really serious about this art form, and also they want to learn this to a certain degree. Not everybody becomes a great tabla player when they're learning, or they don't become a great dancer or a great vocalist. But it's the dedication. It's the pre-student stage which I feel is more important. You have to get yourself ready to learn something. And to be a student all your life, we're still student. I'm learning every single day, all the time, from my seniors, great maestros. And not only that, if you see somebody, if you hear someone do something not quite right, you also learn what not to do. So the learning never ends. Every situation, every concert is it's almost like a great exam. Until it's over, you don't know how you did. Your audience judge, your colleagues, your loved ones, your critical friends, they're all your gurus in some form. So as long as you remain a student, life is great. And that's what I practice, that's what I teach. And I have, luckily, students who have been learning with me for 30 years in England alone. Back in India, and I'm teaching around the world. And also through Zoom, the world has become a very small place. And I'm teaching people from all walks of lives, percussionists, singers, sitar players, everybody. I'm just lucky and blessed that I'm able to share what little I know about this music, and at the same time learn from others. So my experience of learning was very different to the way I teach. Although I was learning at home with my father, but it was more seva, means looking after your guru. So I would stand up maybe sometimes 8 hours, 9 hours, just wanting to serve him. He wants tea, coffee, his friends are coming, guests are coming. And all tabla related talks were happening. So you're learning constantly, but also watching him, how he talks, how he walks, how he receives phone calls, how he greets his elder musicians, how he performs. Every concert we used to sit behind him on the stage and get the pan. He used to eat pan in those days. Get it ready, and between his playing, he'd just turn around and I'd offer him the pan to that degree. And sometimes I would be practicing and he's walking out to the house and he'd turn around and say, "It's not like this, you should play like that." And that was my lesson for that week, that month, sometimes that year. Nowadays, when I'm teaching, people want to write it, they want to record it, they'll film it. And this art form is not quite learned that way. It's almost like the minute you make notes, you forget what you had to do. So it's very important to keep it in your mind, in your heart, if you want to proceed that way. My Guruji was very futuristic about his teaching. I'll give you an example of, he'd come home sometimes 2 in the morning. He wants to practice. Now if your Guruji is practicing upstairs, you cannot sleep because you want to go and listen to him. So I go there as a young boy and sometimes feel I need to ask him how this is, And I pluck up the courage and I'd ask him, like, I need you to tell me how this is played. He'd think for a few seconds and then say, "See how it is, hear how it is." And I used to get very upset in those days, thinking, same person, he's such a great guru, he teaches everybody in front of my eyes, even the people who I thought were not very advanced. They were beginners almost. But he doesn't tell me. But 35 years later, I know why he was doing that. Because he didn't want to spoon feed me. He didn't want to hold my hand and take me to every single place. He wanted me to understand how it is. And it's no different to if I keep telling you every single direction. You will only know that much. But if you travel yourself, you come back and tell me that if you don't go left, you go right. There is a temple. There are fields. There are beautiful houses. So music is about your journey. Your guru only shows you the path. So I am grateful to him for, in every walks of life, not just music, just guiding me. Not sitting there to say, okay, must write this composition down. Yet, we have hundreds of compositions which were composed by my grandfather, great-grandfather, great-great-grandfather. We have hundreds of books. My Guruji, Pandit Sharda Sahai ji, I keep touching my earlobe is because it's a form of respect. When we mention our elders and gurus, we almost sort of, at the same time, kind of apologize for saying his name. So coming to live in UK has helped a lot. It has kind of bridged the gap, as it were. We were also very lucky because my Guruji, was teaching in America. He was in Wesleyan University, Boston University, and various other universities, where a lot of people did PhD under him. And so we always had a lot of students coming to stay in the house. The house is in Varanasi, our ancestral house. It's a big house, 20 rooms. Students come from all over the world. They stay there. They eat with us. They live with us, practice, learn. So as a child, I knew that I would be living in the West, but did not know where. And when early 80s, my Guruji got opportunity to be in UK. Prior to that, I had been to Canada and would run some summer schools, and it was my first experience. It was very frightening because I didn't speak a word of English, and it was all literally a whole new world. Whether it was food, whether it was cooking, whether it was teaching, learning, everything was very new. And I learned by watching him interact and teach. His English was not very good, but he managed to communicate with just about everybody. When I started living in UK, my dream was to be able to speak English to a decent level where I can communicate when I'm teaching, how to express what I'm trying to say, and get to the bottom of answering the question regarding the technique, the knowledge, and the art form. I got many opportunities to play with different genres of music. I didn't go to play with flamenco, for example, as a sort of gharanedar tabla player. I forgot at that point that I belonged to such family, traditional family. Because it's like if you speak to me in Mandarin, I speak to you in Spanish, we will not have a conversation. We have to meet halfway. Only then we can have conversation. So I had to get rid of that hat, as it were, and understand the art form I play with in order to communicate and to do some justice to that music. And in that process, I learned a great deal. Also, extremely blessed and lucky that I had opportunity to play with some of the legends of our music, Indian classical music and dance. And through their experiences, I draw some knowledge to be able to communicate musically with different forms of music. And I say, the more you converse, the better you get. If you only know 15 words in Spanish, you have limitations. But if you know 200, you'd be better, communicator. So always better yourself. Keep wanting to do more and more and more. I was touring with a flamenco, a very senior flamenco dancer, Manuela Carrasco. 3 years, we only said hola and adios. If I needed to speak to her, then it was always through somebody who could translate. But musically, no problem. When we sit down to play tabla, we're communicating with our feet. That's it. So life is easier as a musician that way. If you get rid of who you are, you can be with everybody. You can be friends with everyone. So that's the first thing. No ego, no wanting to show that I know this and I know that. When you become a student in every form, life is great.